Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Shall we start our 40th English class? Are you ready? Okay, is there somebody there? So, good afternoon, Nady, Jose Luis, Sebastian, Fernando, and Juan Carlos. How are you? Is everything fine?
Teacher, I am good, very good.
Okay, that's nice to hear. Thank you, Nady. I'm happy that you're good. What about the rest? How are you doing?
Hi, Miss. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Fernando. So, now that we are 5 students, let's start. Today we're going to talk about the simple past. Yes, I know that you have seen the simple past the last on your first level, right? It's easy, so I think we're not going to have any complications. Anyway, we need to review the past simple. So let's go to your books. Let me share the screen first of all. Yeah. So we're on page 74. Yeah. Here we have a long text. So today we're going to focus on reading. Yeah. On it speaking too. So here you have a text before and after. So we're going to talk about things that were before and how things are now in the nowadays, right? In our actuality. So before, for example, in Santa Cruz, there were 3 million people. Now there are, let's say, 4 million people, something like that. Yeah. So Santa Cruz is starting growing and growing every day. So let me see here. I'm going to show you what we're going to talk about. Here you have the title, before and after. And here you have the points that we're going to talk about today. So remember, today we're going to focus on the past simple of the verb to be, only the verb to be, right? Remember that the verb to be is really special. Solamente nos vamos a enfocar en el verbo to be. Acuérdense que el verbo to be es muy especial. And we're going to describe places in the past and now. For example, here we have a place. The name is Paradise Lost. Yeah. If you look at the pictures, we're going to see some differences. For example, here you have a difference. What about here and here, right? I want you to pay attention to the picture. So look at the photos. They show a beach resort in Bali. Which photo do you like the most and why? Read the blog about Dreamland. Match the captions to the 4 photos. So here you have captions, right? Remember that captions are not going to be like titles, but for example, when you post a picture in Instagram or on Facebook, we're going to write a caption. Yeah, it's not the title of the picture, but it's a caption. So it describes the feelings, how you're feeling. Could be a phrase, could be a sentence, could be a word, right? That is a caption. So I'm going to highlight it. And here we have 4 captions. We have building Dreamland, Dreamland as it was, Dreamland in the 90s, and Dreamland today. Yes? Here I'm going to put, whenever you see this S at the end, so we're just going to say 90s. Sí, siempre que vean una S al final del año, se está refiriendo a todos los años 90. Del año 90 hasta el 99. So, Dreamland in the 90s. How was it? So here we're going to write 90s. Yes? That's the way in order to say that. Now, if we look at the pictures, please everybody, I want you to focus on the pictures. Which caption will you put to each picture? For example, picture A. Which caption are you going to put? Building Dreamland? Dreamland as it was in the past? Dreamland in the 90s or Dreamland today? I just want you to look at the pictures and put a caption. Yes? So for this activity, let me check who is going to help me. So Abigail, could you help me with the first picture, please? Picture A. Just by looking at this picture, which of these captions would you put? What do you think, Abigail?
Picture A.
¿Cuál de estas captions utilizaría para esa imagen? Picture A.
Number 4.
Okay, so you think that that picture is a picture of today, Dreamland today? Yes? Why not? Could be, right? So according to, I'm going to write it. According to Abigail, this is Dreamland today. Dreamland today. Okay, thank you, Abigail. What about you? Let's go with you, Jose Luis. Jose Luis, what do you think about picture B? Which caption are you going to choose for picture B? Jose Luis, are you there?
Here, teacher.
Okay, perfect. Jose Luis, if you look at this picture, picture B, which caption would you choose? Building Dreamland, Dreamland as it was, Dreamland in the 90s, or Dreamland today? What do you think this picture describes?
¿Quiere que les seleccione, digamos, de la higiene y todo eso?
Yes, I just want you to choose one caption for this picture. Remember when you have your Instagram, your Facebook, you write a caption for the photo. Yeah, what's the meaning of caption? I don't have the translation precisely, but that's what I'm telling you. A caption is going to be, could be a word, could be a phrase, could be a sentence that's going to describe the photo.
¿A Frank?
Pardon?
Frank.
Here you have 4 captions. Building Dreamland, Dreamland as it was, Dreamland in the 90s, or Dreamland today. For example, Abigail said that picture A is Dreamland today. Yes?
La 1.
Picture A. So picture B, you say number 1?
Building Dream.
Building Dreamland.
Exacto.
Could you repeat it, please? Building Dreamland.
Building
This
Dreamland.
Dreamland. Yeah. So here you have the word build, right? To build, construir, building Dreamland. Okay. Thank you so much, Jose Luis. So we're going to check later. What about you, Sebastian? What do you think about picture C? What could be a good caption for this picture? Sebastian? Sebastian, are you there or not?
Teacher, good afternoon. Acabé de entrar, teacher.
Okay, so welcome, Sebastian. So we're just looking at these pictures. Yes, I want you to look at picture C and choose a caption for this picture. For example, for picture A, we have the caption Dreamland Today. For picture B, we have Building Dreamland. What do you think about picture C? You have the option Dreamland as it was or Dreamland in the 90s. What do you think?
Dreamline in
Which
the
of those?
90s.
Okay, you think this picture is from the 90s? Why not? So let's put it up. Dreamland in the 90s. Okay, thank you so much, Sebastian. What about you, Fernando? What do you think about picture D?
Picture D is Dreamland as it was.
Okay, so we're going to put here Dreamland as it was. Could be. Yep. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to check if these captions are correct or not for these pictures. How we're going to read this text. So for that, I need Juan Carlos, please. Juanca, could you help me with this text? You're going to read the first paragraph. Yep. So here you have the title, Paradise Lost. Can you read, please, the first paragraph? Juanca, are you there?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to listen to you. You can read.
One moment, please.
Sure.
Se cayó el cielo.
Okay, it starts raining.
One or cuál?
Yes, the first paragraph.
Okay. You're looking at Dreamland Beach in Bali, my favorite vacation destination. Or at least, ¿está bien least?
At least.
Least. Okay, or at least it was when I was first there in 1985. There were mostly local people and fishermen.
Yes.
There weren't many visitors. It was a great place to chill out and relax. It was good to have a meal in the local restaurants. Waruns, algo así creo que dice. It was perfect for swimming and surfing, and it was cheap and a sporty beach.
It's okay. And as for the beach, what can I say?
What can I say? Was the paradise. No, paradise. Paradise. Paradise.
Paradise?
Yes, it was. Or at least, it was my idea of paradise. It was perfect. A long street of turquoise
Turquoise water.
significa eso, teacher?
Turquesa, el color turquesa. Turquoise water.
Turquoise water and empty white sand. Creo que dices.
Okay. Yep, perfect. So here we're describing, remember we're talking about Dreamland Beach in Bali, right? So here we are describing how Bali, how that beach was in the past. Yeah. My favorite vacation destination, or at least it was when I was first there in 1985, right? It was. Now I'm not sure if it is my favorite place. There were mostly local people and fishermen. There weren't many visitors, right? So there weren't tourists. It was a great place to chill out. Chill out is the same as relax, ¿sí? Chill out es un sinónimo de relajarse. Chill out. It was good to have a meal in the local restaurants, right? So the local restaurants are named warungs. This could be a native language, right? Esto puede ser un idioma nativo de Bali. Warungs means local restaurants. It was perfect for swimming and surfing, and it was cheap, so it wasn't expensive. And as for the beach, what can I say? Was this paradise? Yes, it was paradise. Or at least it was my idea of paradise. It was perfect. A long stretch of turquoise water and empty white sand, right? So if we have this description, what do you think could be a good picture for that description? There weren't many visitors, right? There weren't many visitors. It was a great place to relax. It was cheap. There was a long stretch of turquoise water and empty white sand. In which picture do you see that? A, B, C, or D?
Is D.
Yeah, sure that it was this because it says there weren't many visitors. There weren't. No había muchos turistas. Right? There weren't many visitors. It was a great place to chill out. It was perfect. A long stretch of turquoise water and empty white sand. Sí, era arena pura, no se veía nada más. Empty white sand. In which picture you see that? I would say that that picture is picture A. Yes, it's empty. You see a lot of sand. There weren't many visitors, right? So I would say that here is Dreamland as it was. Yeah, probably this is Dreamland today. So you see the difference. Now there are a lot of visitors. There are a lot of tourists, right? In the past, there weren't many visitors. Thank you so much, Juanca. That was nice. A little some words, but we're going to practice those words. Don't worry. So let's continue with the second paragraph. And here is going to help me Sharisti. Sharisti, could you read please the second paragraph?
Lo leo, no, teacher?
Yes, please.
I was there on vacation again in the 1000
In the 90s.
in the 90s.
Yes.
There were more foreign tourists, but that was the problem. I was never crowded. It was still a great place for a kid relaxing vacation.
For a quiet. Yeah, remember to quiet. Okay, thank you so much, Sharisti. So I was there on vacation again in the 90s. Yeah, remember here you have 90s, right? Significa los años 90. Los años 90 comprenden desde el 1990 hasta 1999. Yes, the 90s. So I was there back in the 90s. There were more foreign tourists, but that wasn't a problem. It was never crowded. Probably this is a new word for you. It was never crowded. So crowded is like when there are a lot of people, but a lot of people that it's difficult to walk. That's the meaning of crowded. Yes? It was never crowded. Crowded could be like Like, for example, when you went to the Fexpo Cruz, right? So it's difficult to walk because it's crowded. How do you understand the word crowded? Anybody can tell me? ¿Cómo entienden la palabra crowded? It's really difficult to walk because there are a lot of people. So it's crowded. Anybody? Nobody? I don't have the word in Spanish. Pero es un lugar lleno, ¿sí? Es un lugar con muchas personas. Tantas personas que es difícil caminar o estar tranquilo. Like, for example, in the Fexpo Cruise, right? When it's crowded, really, really crowded, there are a lot of people, yes? But here is saying the person that it was never crowded. Remember in the 90s, it was never crowded. There were tourists, but it was never crowded. It was a still great place for a quiet, relaxing vacation. So if we look at the picture, during the 90s, yeah, it's still, there are some tourists. If you see the people at the back, si ven hay algunos turistas ahí atrás, but it's still a really nice, quiet place for a relaxing vacation, right? So it's nice. There is no problem. What about the third paragraph? Shall we read the third paragraph and we're going to listen to Ronatan? Ronatan, what can you tell us about the third paragraph, please?
Okay, teacher. 25 years late and Bali is very different. I'm studying here at the top of my favorite beach, and it just doesn't look the same. They're finishing the last hotel at Dreamland. I can't believe my eyes. The war rooms aren't there anymore. Now they're a big, busy highway and an expensive 18-hole golf course. There are a lot of the new hotel, luxury villas, and condominiums. Today there are many tourists, and it's dirty and noisy. Everything is commercial and modern. It's not a dreamland anymore. Back in 1985,
1985? 85?
1985, Dreamland was a good name, but now it isn't a dreamland. It's just a nightmare.
Nightmare. Okay, we're going to practice some words. Yes, Renata? So let's start with here. I'm standing here at the top of my favorite beach. Could you repeat this sentence? I'm standing here at the top of my favorite beach.
I'm standing here at the top of my favorite beach.
Okay. Then we have, I can't believe my eyes. Can you repeat this phrase?
I can't believe my age.
Eyes. Yeah, remember eyes.
I can't believe my eyes.
Okay, there it goes. Now we have this. Now there is a big, busy highway and an expensive 18-hole golf course. We're going to read until here, yes? Now there's a big, busy highway. Can you read until here?
Now there a big, busy highway and an expensive 18-hole golf course.
Okay, could you repeat the word busy? Busy.
Busy.
Okay, here we remember when an S is between two vowels. Well, here we have the Y, but it's a vowel sound, right? It's going to sound like a Z. Sí, acuérdense que si una S está entre dos sonidos de vocales, va a sonar como una Z. So here we're going to say busy. Busy. Yes, can you repeat it?
Busy.
Okay, we're going to try one more time. I'm going to write it here, yes? Vamos a tratar una vez más. Aquí voy a escribir la pronunciación. So, remember it's the sound of a mosquito. Es el sonido de un mosquito. Zzz, right? So the sound is busy. Busy. Yes, here you have. If you want, you can practice the zzz, and then you say busy. Now there's a big, busy highway. It's going to be the last word, yes, Jonathan? Could you repeat it?
Busy.
Okay, there it goes. Sí, va a practicar ese sonido. ¿Sí? Es que no es lo mismo decir busy o busy. Los estadounidenses o los ingleses no van a entender lo que están diciendo, ¿sí? Tenemos que exagerar ese sonido porque es un sonido que no lo tenemos, pero es muy importante. For example, it's dirty and noisy, right? Noisy, busy. Yep. Okay, thank you so much, Jonathan. So we're going to see some difference now, right? Remember, we're talking about Bali now, in the present. 25 years later, so that means in 2015, let's say. And Bali is very different. I'm standing here at the top of my favorite beach, and it just doesn't look the same. They are finishing the last hotel at Dreamland. So here you have, right, a construction. They are finishing the last hotel at Dreamland. Could be picture B, sorry. If you look at picture B, you see here we have a building, right? They are just finishing the last hotel at Dreamland. So this could be a hotel, right? This construction, this building. And where was I? I can't believe my eyes. This expression is really important. Esta es una expresión que pueden usarla cuando quieran. Cuando dicen, no puedo creerlo, I can't believe my eyes, right? The Waruns aren't there anymore. You remember what was a Warun? ¿Alguien se acuerda que era un Warun? What was a Warun?
El nombre del restaurante.
Yeah, well, could be the name of the restaurant, but it was the word. Puede ser un idioma nativo, right? Y Warun significa local restaurant. ¿Sí? Restaurantes locales. That would be, let's say, in guaraní. Si nosotros tenemos la lengua nativa guaraní, puede ser, no sé, cuñapé, el nombre de un restaurante, right? That means señora pequeña. So the Waruns aren't there anymore. Now there is a big, busy highway. What was a highway? You remember? What is a highway? We have a street, we have a road, we have highways. What is a highway? Anybody knows? So a highway could be like una carretera, right? So it's bigger than a street. Es más grande que una calle. Yeah? So that's highway. And then we have, yeah, so now there is a big busy highway, so a lot of cars, right? There are a lot of cars and an expensive 18-hole golf course. If you look at here, there is an expensive 18-hole golf course. Course, what's the meaning of course? Cancha. Yeah, when talking about golf, we're going to say course. Es una cancha de golf. So 18 hole de 18 hole es un hueco. Yes. Then there are a lot of new hotels, of course, more people, more hotels, luxury villas and condominiums. Today there are many tourists and it's dirty and noisy, right? Now it's dirty and noisy. So more people, more trash, more noise. Everything is commercial and modern. It's not a dreamland anymore. Back in 1985, dreamland was a good name, but now it isn't a dreamland. It's just a nightmare. So here the writer is playing with words. Sí, en esta parte el escritor está jugando con las palabras. Remember, we have the name Dreamland. What is dream? You remember dream? It's a verb. Anybody can tell me what's the meaning of a dream? It's an easy word. Yes? What is dream in Spanish? Okay. See, land. So land comes from island, right? What is an island? Or land? So dream es sueño o el verbo soñar. And what about land? Land could be una tierra. See? So here the writer is saying it's not a dreamland anymore. Dreamland was a good name, but now it isn't a dreamland. It's just a nightmare. So here probably this is a new word for you. So nightmare is when you have bad dreams. Let's say that. Nightmare is when you cannot sleep because you're having bad dreams. I'm gonna write here. Nightmare. Son pesadillas. Now it's not anymore a dreamland. Now it's just a nightmare. Yeah, a lot of people, too much noisy, it's dirty, there are more hotels, there aren't warungs anymore, so it's sad, right? It's a nightmare. So now that we have read the text, you have any question about the text? ¿Tiene alguna pregunta del texto? Remember here we're talking about before and now. Yes, we're comparing the place, the Dreamland Beach in Bali, how it was in the past and how it is today. ¿Alguna palabra que quieran saber? Algo que no entendieron. Remember, chill out. ¿Alguien puede decirme qué significaba chill out? Nobody? It's a synonym of relax. Yes? To chill out. Oh, come on, let's just chill out. Let's just relax. Yes? So I think in vocabulary, that's the whole new words that we have, right? Crowded, I didn't put it crowded, but I'm going to write it here. Crowded. So a lot of people. See? Lleno. Now, what is the blog saying? Mark the correct sentence. Dreamland is wonderful now. The island of Bali is not very different now. Not all the changes to Dreamland are bad. And commercial interests change beautiful places. I want you to choose which of these sentences are correct. Okay? You have to choose only one because 3 sentences are incorrect. Only one sentence is the correct one. So for this, I'm going to ask to Janet. Janet, can you help me to choose the correct sentence? Yes, we're going to choose the correct sentences.
Yes, teacher.
Perfect. What do you think? For example, sentence number 1. Dreamland is wonderful now. Do you think that sentence is correct? Is true or false?
It's true, teacher.
Yeah, you think Dreamland is wonderful now? Now in the present?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me why? Why do you think it's wonderful now? ¿Puede decirme por qué cree que ahora es un lugar maravilloso, según lo que dice el texto?
Now there's a big, busy highway and an expensive 18-hole golf course.
Okay. So you think those things makes wonderful to Bali? Now there is a big, busy highway and an expensive 18-hole golf course. ¿Sí cree que esas cosas lo hacen al lugar más maravilloso?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, well, it's true. It depends on each person, right? Es cierto, depende de cada gusto de la persona. But here the writer is saying that it's busy, it's dirty, it's noisy, right? So here the writer, the person that writes this text, is saying that no, it's not wonderful. It's not a dreamland anymore. It's a nightmare. Sí, dice que ya no es una tierra en sueños, es una pesadilla. Because it's dirty, it's noisy, there are a lot of tourists. So according to him, Dreamland is not wonderful anymore. So here we're going to put an X. Yes. So Janet, what do you think about the second sentence?
It's false.
Okay, it's false. The island of Bali is not very different now. That's false. It's totally different, right? It's totally different. So that's false. We're going to put an X. Janet, what do you think about number 3? Not all the changes to Dreamland are bad.
True.
Okay, well, as I'm telling you, as the first one, it depends on each person. Not all the changes to Dreamland are bad, could be. So here we're going to put a so-so. Yes. I don't know if I can write here. Anyway. Well, it depends, right? Para los empresarios va a ser bueno. Pero para la gente local, no, porque no van a tener mucho espacio para construir sus casas. Van a haber hoteles para los turistas, pero no para la gente local, right? So it depends. It depends on each perspective. Depende de cada perspectiva de cada persona. So not all the changes to Dreamland are bad. Well, the expensive golf, a lot of tourists, a lot of hotels, I don't know. Those changes, according to the writer, those changes are bad. And Janet, what do you think about number 4?
True.
Okay. Yeah, so commercial interests change beautiful places, right? Could be a beautiful, really beautiful place, but if we have commercial interests, so we're going to destroy the trees, we're going to start building hotels, right? So it's sad, but it happens. So number 4, it's the correct one. Yes? What is the blog saying? So the blog, right, this text is saying that commercial interests change beautiful places. Remember that Bali, it was an relaxing island, right? It was empty. You could go there and swim or surf. But now there are a lot of people. It's crowded. You can barely walk. Yes? Okay. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to underline the positive words in paragraph 1 and 2 and the negative words in paragraph 3. ¿Sí? En los párrafos 1 y 2 tenemos solamente palabras positivas, tenemos que encontrarlas. En el párrafo número 3 tenemos palabras negativas, vamos a encontrarlas. So, for the positive words, who's going to help me? Who didn't participate? Stephanie. Stephanie, you are going to help me for the for the positive words. Yes? Underline the positive words in paragraph 1 and 2. Let's start with the first paragraph. Positive with red color.
Paragraph was?
Well, was, it's a verb. It's not a positive word. For example, favorite, right? Favorite, it's a positive word. Normalmente las palabras positivas son los adjetivos, los que describen el lugar diciendo bonito, I don't know, cheap, not noisy, calm, relaxed, great, nice, right? Those are positive words.
Place.
Great?
Great place.
Yes.
Good.
Good. Of course, good is a positive word. Relaxed too.
Perfect.
Perfect, right? These are positive words. So we have twice perfect. What do you think about the word cheap? Do you think cheap is positive or negative?
But
Pardon?
negative.
Okay. Yeah, could be negative if you are the salesperson, right? But if you are the customer, it's positive. Sí, si es el vendedor, si es el empresario, Yeah, cheap is bad, right? Pero si es el comprador, so cheap is good. For example, here for tourists, it was cheap. So this is a good word. Siempre que viajamos, siempre buscamos los lugares baratos, ¿sí? Para no gastar tanto. Yeah, but it depends. Para algunos barato puede significar malo, para algunos barato puede significar malo o bueno. What do you think about paradise? Yeah, I think paradise is a positive word. What about the second paragraph? Do we have positive words here?
Great place.
Yeah, one more time we have great. And we have also quiet, right? Un lugar callado, un lugar tranquilo, relaxing. Okay, thank you so much. So now we're going to go with another person that didn't participate. And Samara, you're going to help me with the bad words. I mean, with negative words. Underline the negative words in paragraph number 3. So only on paragraph number 3. Where do you have negative words, Samara?
Doesn't.
Okay, yeah, doesn't is negative, but it's an auxiliary. So try to look for adjectives. For example, different. Well, normally a different could be positive or negative. In this case, it's negative. Yes? 25 years later, and Bali is very different. Any other negative words? For example, if here we say that cheap is a positive word, what could be the negative of cheap?
Expensive.
Okay, expensive, yeah. So here we have something negative, expensive. Busy could be negative, right? What else?
Dirty and noisy.
Dirty, noisy. Yes. And the last word that is negative is
Nightmare.
yes. That's the last word, nightmare. Right? Okay. So that's what we have done. It's important to see the difference, right? Estamos tratando de ver la diferencia entre el pasado, el presente, but also between words. It's not only verbs, right? It's not only the verb that is going to change, but also the adjectives. So in the past, it was beautiful, good, perfect, cheap, but now in the present, it's different. It's expensive, it's busy, it's dirty, noisy, it's a nightmare. Yes? Es por eso que tienen que tomar mucha atención cuando escriban las diferencias, right? So in the past, my house was small. Now my house is big, it's beautiful, I don't know. You're going to tell me those differences. So look at the verbs in bold in paragraph 1 and 2. Complete 1 to 7 in the grammar panel. Well, here you notice that there are some words in bold, right? Was, were, weren't, what else? Were. We need to complete the grammar panel here with those words. So for this exercise, who's going to help me? Jordi. Jordi didn't participate. So Jordi, remember we're talking about the past simple of the verb to be. So if we make positive sentences, what do we have here?
I am.
Okay, that is the present. I am is in the present, but what about the past? ¿Cuál sería el pasado de I am?
You.
No, give me a second, I'm going to write it, yes? Lo malo de esto es que no tengo muchos colores. But anyway, I'm going to write it. So this is the present, right? Let me just make some space. This is the present. I am, you are, he is, we are, they are. But the past of the verb to be, it's going to be I was, you were, she was, we were, they were. Okay? That's talking about the verb to be, remember. ¿Sí? Solamente estamos hablando de un verbo. El verbo ser, estar, que es el verbo más irregular en todos los idiomas. ¿Sí? Yo soy, tú eres. Si se fijan, van cambiando las formas, ¿no? Soy, eres, él es, nosotros somos, right? The same in English. I am, you are, he, she is, we, they are, but Spanish is more difficult than English. ¿Sí? En español, cada sujeto tiene su forma. But in English, we only have 3 forms. En inglés solamente tenemos 3 formas. El am, el is y el are. In the present. But in the past, right? If we say I was, yo era, yo fui, tú eras, tú fuiste, ella era, right? So it's totally different. But in English, we have 2 forms. We only have I was, you were, she was, we were, they were. Also, it was, or he, she, it, right? This is only talking about the verb to be. Okay, so Jordi, what do you think about number 1?
I was.
Could you read the whole sentence, please? I was.
He was. He was. It was.
Could you finish the sentence? ¿Puede terminar de leer la oración? I was.
I was there on vacation.
Okay. What about number 2?
He was perfect. She was perfect. It was perfect.
Perfect. Yes. What about number 3? So here we have the negative, right? Here we have the negative. I wasn't there on business. You, we, they.
They weren't.
They weren't at work. Perfect. What about number 4?
He wasn't a problem.
It wasn't a problem, right? Thank you. What happened when it's a question? So remember, in questions, we're going to make the inversion, right? Was I happy in dreamland? Were you happy in dreamland? And what about number 5?
Was it paradise?
Was it a paradise, right? Was it a paradise? Thank you so much, Jordi. What about number 6? Just no short answers.
Wasn't?
Yes, yes, it wasn't. No, sorry. Yes, it was, right? If it's positive, so we're going to say, yes, it was. If it's negative, so we're going to say, no, it wasn't. Yes? And what do you think about number 7? We often use was with there, right? So there are many tourists. Here, are we going to use, remember tourists is plural. Are we going to use was or were?
Wasn't? No, okay. Weren't.
Perfect. There weren't many tourists. Thank you so much, Jordi. That was it. So I know that you have seen the past of the verb to be, but this is in order to practice. Yeah, we need to practice this. Okay, I'm going to try and start writing. Remember, if it's a question, remember to start with a capital letter, right? Capital letter. Okay, siempre en pregunta empezamos con mayúscula. Was it paradise? Well, I cannot move it. And then in answers, we're going to say, yes, I was, no, I wasn't. Yes, you were, no, you weren't. Yes, she was, no, she wasn't. And here we are. Yes, it was, no, it wasn't. And number 7, remember, in order to describe a picture, we're going to say, right now, in my house, there is a table, there are 2 pencils, right? Sí, acuérdense que para describir un lugar usábamos el there is a chair, I don't know, there is a microphone, yes, there is a cell phone, but now in the past. Sí, ahora lo mismo, pero en pasado. So, there weren't many tourists in the past. You remember? ¿Cómo sería eso en pasado en español? There weren't many tourists. ¿Cómo lo dirían en español? There weren't many tourists. For example, in the present, when you say there is a cell phone, yes?
Yeah. Cell phone.
Ok, eso es en el presente. En este momento hay una mesa, hay una silla. But in the past, how can we say there was a table? ¿Cómo sería en el pasado en español? No? We need to practice some grammar in Spanish. Había, right? En el pasado había una silla, ahora ya no hay. Habían en plural, right? It's the same. There was a pencil. So in the past, there was a table. Now, there isn't a table anymore. So here, there weren't many tourists. Yes, and there you have the negative. Anyway, don't worry, we're going to practice right now. Remember, we're going to focus on the past simple of the verb to be. So here you have the difference between the present and the past. This is for you, right? In order to remember. Sí, tenemos que tratar de tomar So, exercise number 2, let's look at the two photos of Benidorm. I cannot read well. And 60, well, Benidorm, I think now in the present, and 60 years ago. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb to be, if it's in the past or if it's in the present, right? This picture could be in the present. How is Benidorm right now? And the second picture could be in the past, right? So that's how was Benidorm in the past. And in order to remember, here we have some phrases that I'm going to underline. Well, first of all, I'm going to let you do the exercise, and then I'm going to give you the clues. For example, number 1, before there are any big hotels. What do you think here? The verb to be in the past or in the simple? So for this activity, for the first example, who is going to help me? Dana. Dana, can you help me with number 1? What do you think we're going to say number 1? Before there are any big hotels. What do you think, Dana? Before, is it the present or the past?
The past, teacher?
Okay, so we need the verb to be in the past. What are you going to say?
Sería there was.
Okay, could be there was, si fuese singular, was, but if it's plural, we have big hotels, right?
Sería entonces they were.
Okay, so we have were, but do you think it's going to be positive or negative? Because here we have any. Do you remember when are we going to use any? ¿Cuándo usamos any? ¿Con positivo o con negativo?
¿Con negativo?
Yes, so it's going to be negative, right? Before, there weren't any big hotels. Okay? And Dana, what do you think number 2? Today? ¿Qué cree que today significa now or the past? What do you think today means?
Past.
Yes, today. Do you think today is the past? Yesterday is the past, but today, the present. Sí, ayer es el pasado. Hoy es el presente, right? So we need to use the verb to be in present.
Sería they were.
What is the verb to be in present? Let's remember. The verb to be in present.
Am. I am.
Okay. I am, you are, he is. But here we're talking about hotels. Hotels que continúan siendo plural. ¿Qué vamos a decir? Vamos a usar con plural el am, el is o el are.
Are.
Okay. Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, perfect. Thank you so much, Dana. So that was in order to give you the examples, yes? Tal vez sea un poco difícil, pero en cada oración siempre hay pistas. Siempre hay palabras que nos van a ayudar a identificar si se trata del pasado o el presente. How, for example, let me highlight these words. I'm going to highlight with yellow the past, okay? So before, then, in the past, right? These phrases talk about the past. And then. ¿Sí? Siempre que vemos before, antes, then, en ese entonces, in the past, en el pasado, right? Entonces ahí tenemos que usar el pasado. What about the phrases that talk about the present? For the present, I think we're going to use the green. Yeah, so we have the phrases today, right? Hoy día es el presente. Now, right now, it's the present, right? Here you have again, now, yes? So please, I want you to pay attention to these phrases. If it's before, then, in the past, we need to use the verb in the past. If it's today, now, or now, we need to use the verb in the present. Yeah, I'm going to give you, please, 1 minute to do this exercise. Ahora solamente tenemos que completar el verbo to be in the past or in the present. Yes, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Look at the sentences and complete. Pay attention if it's negative or positive. Yeah. Before, there weren't any big hotels. Today, there are lots of hotels. ¿Sí? Antes no habían muchos hoteles. Ahora hay muchos hoteles, right? You see the difference? No había, ahora hay. Before there weren't, today there are. I'm going to call the attendance while you do this exercise. So Abigail is here, Brisa, Carlos not here. Edson, what about Edson? Is Edson here? No, Edson is not here. What a pity. Stephanie is here, right? Yes, Stephanie, are you here? No, she left. Okay. Well, Fernando is here. Gonzalo, I don't think. Gonzalo, are you here? No. What about you, Harold? No. Janet is here. Jose Luis, you continue with us?
I am
Are
here.
you? Okay, thank you. Maria Angelica, we know. What about Nady? Is Nady here? Nady? Not here? Okay, thank you. Oliver, is Oliver here or not? No, he's not here. What about Pedro? Is Pedro here? Sharisti, Jordi, yeah, the rest, you are here, right? I'm going to save the attendance, and we're going to see who is going to help us with the exercise. Okay, Ronatan, you are going to help us. Yes? So, Ronatan, what do you think about sentence number 3? Then there are many tourists.
Weren't.
Weren't. Yes, it's going to be weren't. What about number 4? Now there are.
Now there is lot of people.
Okay, so let's pay attention to is. Could be is, yeah. Está bien, es el presente. But what about people? People, is it plural or singular? ¿Qué piensa de people?
Singular.
Have a person and 3 people. Sí, no se acuerdan que person es singular, right? A person. But people is plural. 3 people. Acuérdense que el plural de person no va a ser persons. No, eso no existe. No vamos a decir 3 persons. No, we say 3 people. ¿Ok? Personas. People ya es plural. Yo sé que no lleva una S, es un plural irregular. ¿Sí? Porque cambia totalmente la palabra. It's not persons. It's people. So what do you think here? Now there are lots of people. So what are we going to write here?
Now there are lots of people.
Yes. And here you have the S, right? Y aquí incluso la S les está ayudando. There are lots of people. Hay muchas personas. What about number 5? In the past, the beach.
The beach was quiet in the past.
Was quiet. Yeah, we're going to write that word. Sí, porque muchos tienen problema con esta pronunciación. So the pronunciation is going to be quiet. Quiet. Put it like this. Quiet. Yes. This word is going to pronounce like this. Quiet. Yeah, it's because more or less of the letter I, right? Más que todo es por la I, que en inglés decimos I. Quiet. Quiet. Okay, what about number 6? The beach.
The beach is quiet now.
Okay, let's see if this makes sense. Sí, vamos a ver si esto tiene sentido. The beach was quiet in the past. Now the beach is quiet. What do you think? Si vemos la imagen, ¿cree que now is quiet? In the past, it was quiet, right? But now...
Okay, teacher. Sería the beach isn't quiet now.
Perfect. It's not quiet, right? It's not quiet now. Number 7. Now the view you see the view? The view significa la vista. ¿Qué piensa de la vista? ¿Cómo es ahora? Now the view very pretty. Do you think this view is very pretty or isn't very pretty? What do you think?
Now the view is very pretty.
Okay. Do you think that is very pretty? Then the landscape is the same landscape. Sigue siendo el paisaje. Then the landscape
Then the landscape was really beautiful.
Okay, so let's check one more time. Sí, vamos a ver otra vez estas dos, porque acá tenemos is and was, que los dos son positivos. Now the view is very pretty. Then the landscape was really beautiful. So, what do you think? ¿Cree que esta vista es muy bonita? Now the view is very pretty or it's not very pretty? Do you think this is positive or negative? Tener este tipo de vista, porque mire cómo era antes. Mire el paisaje. The landscape was really beautiful, right? It was really beautiful, the landscape. But what about now? Is it pretty or not? For example, here in the past, you could manage to see the lake, to see the ocean, to see the trees. You can manage to see some houses. But now, as it is crowded, right? There are a lot of people. It's difficult to see the ocean. It's difficult to see the plants. So what do you think? Now the view is pretty or isn't very pretty? ¿Cree que la vista es bonita ahora? This view, right? Jonathan? Are you there?
No, teacher. Sería isn't very pretty.
Yes, isn't very pretty, yeah? So please try to pay attention to these things, ¿sí? Traten de ver estas diferencias. Acuérdense que tiene que haber una diferencia en el pasado y en el presente, no puede ser lo mismo. Ahora la vista es bonita, antes era muy bonita, right? No, ahora no es tan bonita, antes era muy bonita. Yes? There has to be a difference. So probably here the new words are the view, right? The view and the landscape. Sí, quizás estas son dos nuevas palabras para ustedes. The view, la vista, right? Si ven aquí en la primera imagen, la vista no es tan bonita. Imagínense estar acá y que estas umbrellas, estas paraguas, estas sombrillas les tapen la vista, right? So you cannot see the ocean. You cannot see your family. You're going to be lost. Sí, es fácil perderse ahí, si solamente se ve sombrillas. So, the landscape, el paisaje. Right? But here talking about the landscape is beautiful. If you look at here. So you can see palms, trees, the ocean, some houses, right? It's calm. Sí, acá sí se puede ver el paisaje, everything. Okay, so probably this is a little difficult, but I'm telling you, pay attention to those special words. Yep. So, shall we continue with the listening activity? Listen to Adam describing a visit to Benidorm. Remember, this is Benidorm, right? Acuérdense que este lugar es Benidorm. Was it a good trip? Why? Why not? What does he think of the town? So we're going to listen once. Vamos a escuchar una primera vez. And I want you to answer these two questions. Was it a good trip? Yes, it was. Or no, it wasn't. Why not? Yes, it was because it was beautiful. I know. There were many visitors. Or no, it wasn't beautiful because there were a lot of people. It was crowded. Yeah, I want you to listen and tell me. Everybody, please pay attention to the listening. Let me check if I'm sharing the audio. Yes. So let's listen, everybody.
Transcript 7.3, page 75. Exercise 1.
How was your trip, Adam?
It was great, thanks. Really great. Benidorm's an interesting place.
Interesting, you say?
Yeah, well, you know what people say. But it wasn't all bad. It has some good bars and restaurants, you know. People from all over the world. It's a big resort.
Yeah, it was past, but that was before the real estate developers. I bet it was very busy.
Yeah, but the hotel was nice. There was a great pool and a view of the ocean from our room. And it was hot and sunny, so we were on the beach every day. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, well, you look great. Rested and tanned.
Yeah, it was a good trip. A rest, a break from work.
Okay, so now that we have listened to this, anyway, I'm going to send you this audio. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for helping me. Now, I want you to tell me, Jordi, was it a good trip or it was a bad trip? What do you think? According to Adam. Was it a good trip? Why not?
Come on, teacher.
Here you have the questions, right? We're doing the listening activity and you listen to Adam. Sí, escuchamos a Adam describiendo su visita a Benidorm. I want you to answer this question. Was it a good trip? Why not? What does he think of the town? No sé si lo escuchó Adam. What do you think? It was a good trip or it wasn't a good trip?
Uy, ya ese.
It wasn't?
No, ya escuché. Sí.
Okay, well, let's listen one more time and you're going to tell me, ¿sí? Vamos a escuchar una vez más y me dicen. Was it a good trip? Why not? Acuérdense que siempre tienen que decirme por qué. Sí, fue un bonito viaje, porque esto pasó, o fue un pésimo viaje, porque esto pasó, right? And what does he think of the town? Quiero que me diga qué es lo que él piensa sobre esa ciudad. Let me check. Let's listen one more time. Yeah, everybody please pay attention.
Transcript 7.3, page 75. Exercise 1.
How was your trip, Adam?
It was great, thanks. Really great. Benidorm's an interesting place.
Interesting, you say?
Yeah, well, you know what people say. But it wasn't all bad. It has some good bars and restaurants, you know. There were people there from all over the world. It's a big resort.
Yeah, it was lovely in the past, but that was before the real estate developers. I bet it was very busy.
Yeah, but the hotel was nice. There was a great pool and a view of the ocean from our room. And it was hot and sunny, so we were on the beach every day. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, well, you look great. Rested and tanned.
Yeah, it was a good trip. A rest, a break from work.
Okay, Jordi, what do you think? Was it a good trip? You have
Creo
the
que
answer. Yes.
sí, sí, llegué a escuchar. No sé si lo puedo volver a poner también, ¿no?
Okay, I'm going to put the last phrase. Sí, voy a poner la última frase porque ahí responde. Let me check. Yeah, pay attention please to the last phrase.
You look great. Rested and tanned.
Yeah, it was a good trip. A rest, a break from work.
So,
Sí. Yeah, was it good trip?
yeah, it was a good trip, right? Okay, perfect. So, do you remember why? It's true it was a good trip, but why?
Mm, cool.
Okay, yeah, I know it's a lot.
Restaurant.
Okay, because of restaurants, because he could relax, right? Because of restaurants and
Because relax.
he relax. He could. Yes, eso es lo más importante. Que disfrutó de los restaurantes y se pudo relajar. Okay, so on exercise number 2, that this is going to be your homework for house. It's going to be homework. Here I have it, and I want you to tell me who says these sentences. Is it Will or is it Adam? So next to each sentence, I want you to write A for Adam or W for Will. Sí, voy a mandarles el audio. Quiero que lo vuelvan a escuchar y quiero que me digan quién de los dos dice estas frases. How was your trip? For example, if it's a question, right? Remember that it's Will that's making the questions. So here we're going to say Will. Let me check if I can write. So number 1, we're going to put a W for Will. It was great, thanks, really great. So that's Adam answering, right? And you're going to put only A. Yes? That's going to be your homework for tomorrow. In that way, we arrive and we check. I just want you to listen to the audio and tell me who says these phrases. Let me check if you understood the homework. So let's see. Jose Luis, can you repeat please the homework? What's going to be the homework?
Entendido, teacher. ¿Quiere que repita? Yes, yes, it was a good trip because of restaurant and he could.
Relax. Yeah, but I didn't want you to read that phrase. I want you to repeat the homework. Quería que repita cuál es la tarea para mañana.
La tarea es, digamos, yo lo que entendí, dijo que teníamos que buscar, digamos, de la persona que decía la palabra, how was your trip, right?
Okay, yeah, so in the listening you have two people, see? You have Will and Adam. So we're going to write a W if it's Will, and we're going to write an A if it's Adam. Sí, solamente quiero que me digan quién de los dos, si es Will o Adam, que dice estas frases. For example, you have, how was your trip? That's Will asking, right? It was great, thanks, really great. So that's Adam. I'm going to send you the audio and you do that. It's simple. I just want you to listen to the audio. Yeah. Now it's clear, Luis. Or not yet. Jose Luis, is it clear now?
Teacher, le escucho entrecortado.
Is it my internet? No, I don't think it's my internet.
Sí, soy yo.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to repeat the homework. Bueno, lo voy a volver a repetir en español. Quizás así no se corte mucho. La tarea es escuchar el audio que les voy a mandar y en ese ejercicio tienen oraciones. Solamente quiero que me digan quién dice esas oraciones. Si es Will o si es Adam. Si es Will, ponen una W. Si es Adam, ponen una A. Yes, José Luis? Now it's perfect?
Entendido, teacher.
Okay. So, see you tomorrow, Saturday. How you do the homework, please? We need to practice the past and the simple. Sí, acuérdense que hoy día solamente estamos hablando del verbo to be. En las otras clases ya vamos a hablar de más verbos. Luego vamos a ver los verbos irregulares. So please, I need you to put a lot of effort. ¿Sí? Necesito que vengan con ganas. Y sí, más que todo con ganas. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Have a nice afternoon. Take care, please. It's raining in Santa Cruz, so take a lot of care. And see you tomorrow. Yes? Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, Luis.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye-bye. Goodbye, Jonathan.